Enterprise.
Captain, some people experience hallucinations.
The crew's tormented by a fear of the unknown. Something is waiting for us. And they must fight against a horrifying destiny.
We will all go insane.
No! We may need to count on you for our very survival.
Night terrors on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It's quite simple. They must fight against a horrifying destiny. That's right. That's the Next Generation crew. That's the USS Enterprise D under Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And I am Will, and I'm going to guide you through a little episode called Night Terrors. And first things first, I want to thank my buddy Eddie Stake for inspiring the podcast after I watched his great and funny and cool commentary of Night Terrors. I was looking for like a top 5, scary Halloween episodes, Next Gen, Star Trek. And I stumbled upon Eddie's wonderful little treatment of Night Terrors. And I said, you know what? That it is. I mean, we can go through a lot of spooky and creepy episodes of Next Generation. And for my money, it is Night Terrors. This is the truly haunting episode of Trek. This is the episode you want to put on when your friends go, hey, does Star Trek have scary episodes? You better believe they do. You better believe Star Trek does. And Night Terrors is one of the best. Now, I think, saying qualifying, you're right, one of the best what? One of the most adventurous, spooky, creepy, awe-inspiring. That's a lot of different descriptors and ways you can, treat a next-gen episode. Well, I guess a lot of different shows, but with Star Trek, why we keep coming back to it, why I keep finding myself for years now, for decades, going back to Star Trek, because unlike so many other shows, it can be funny, it can be scary, it can be adventurous, it can be awe-inspiring, it could be downright, what the fuck? What the hell did I just see? And it's really hard to name many other shows that get even close to that. But with Star Trek, from the original Next Gen, and so many more now, you have an episode for every occasion, for every like, and for every, preoccupation. You can find it. If you want it, if you like it, if you're interested in it, you can find it in Star Trek. Now, when we're talking about Next Generation, we're talking about more than one. We have the episode Schisms, Frame of Mind. There's a lot of spooky, weird sort of episodes. Even Cause and Effect is a weird one. It's that one they keep the loop. The Enterprise keeps, being destroyed. And there's a creepiness. Clues is another great one. But when you're talking about a purely sort of haunted house flavor, a purely Halloween episode, I don't think you could do much better than Night Terrors. So let's get a little bit of trivia, a little of factoids from the episode. It's a season 4 episode, episode 17 from season 4. And this is very cool. A production note. The episode was intended as a vehicle for Marina Sirtis. However, she disliked it due to her fear of heights and the requirement that she be strapped into a flying harness. And for you spaceship, you Starship fans, I know Eddie is one, and he mentioned it in his commentary. The model used for the USS Britain is the same as was used for the USS Reliant in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. The ship is occasionally referred to as the USS Bratan due to a spelling error on the exterior of the model. So if you look close, you can spot that spelling error when you watch the episode. Now, this has always gotten me over the years. It's a really mixed bag, the way people react to this episode. It says Tech Republic placed the episode in its list of the 5 worst next-gen episodes ever. Zach Hanlon of the AV Club notes that the episode, quote, lacks the mild twist at the end to make it memorable. Also, this kind of episode is really the meat and potatoes of this sort of show, so it's impressive to realize that Next Gen has gotten to the point where delivering the expected is no longer entirely satisfactory. Den of Geek, it's not completely incompetent, but it's hard to imagine anyone loving this episode. Well, I love it, and I know others love it. Den of Geek said the episode was weird and critical of the Troi dream sequences. But then we go to just a couple years ago, 2018, The Gamer ranked this one the top 25 creepiest episode in all of the Star Trek series, all of Star Trek. They noted a number of scenes with frightening imagery depicted in hallucinations or dreams. Den of Geek ranked this episode the 22nd most scary episode of all Star Trek series up to that time. And in 2020, Screen Rant ranked this as the most frightening episode of Next Generation. Quote, it's unsettling to say the least, as the crew, unable to REM sleep, contend with paranoia, exhaustion, and fear. And finally, in 2021, just last year, Screen Rant ranked Night Terrors the 4th scariest episode of all the Star Trek franchises. In particular, they praised the creepiness of Dr. Crusher's hallucination on the Enterprise D when a morgue full of corpses come alive in unison, giving a macabre surprise. And that is certainly a great moment. And I can't say it, better. As I, said in the beginning, this to me is the best. It's certainly the top of scary episodes of Star Trek, of all of Star Trek. And I think it's the scariest Next Gen episode and the creepiest and the spookiest. But I'll further and get a little bit more detailed and specific. What are the things that Screen Rant said? It's unsettling to say the least, as the crew unable to REM sleep, contend with the paranoia, exhaustion, and fear. And to me, this is the underlying sort of subtext. I mean, we all know why then Crusher realizes why the crew are experiencing these hallucinations, these daydream daymares, because they can't get into REM sleep. So when you frame it in that respect, to know that we've all had insomnia, we've all had times when we couldn't get to sleep. Imagine if you never could get to sleep and you started to have these incredibly scary hallucinations that you could not get away from. And not only that, but the only way to avoid it or to fix it is to get the ship away from the area. And of course, they're caught that Tychon's rift. So of course it's, sort of a countdown, beat the clock. If we don't get away from there, we're going to die or start killing each other like the starship, the Britannia. So, and I think when you remember that is the overriding reason why this is happening, it becomes all the more scary, But hey, you don't have to like it for whatever reason. If you don't like horror or scary, or you think it isn't well done, I do. I mean, I think the Troi scenes, if I'm being really critical, I guess they do look a little odd. Marina Sirtis, of course, the actress who plays Troi, she was really uncomfortable and she didn't enjoy that experience. But you could say that even lends itself to the performance, to those scenes. And I think those two lights, like the eyes in the dark, was it One Moon, eyes in the dark, does it for me, boy, Put that on late at night, turn out all your lights, and it's spooky, it's creepy. And of course, Star Trek on the whole isn't. So that's why when you have the spooky, creepy episode, it's all the more enjoyable. It's all the better to relish and to experience again and again. Because that's another thing. I love watching, my favorite shows, Bionic Woman, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, Star Trek over and over, sure. But there's certain episodes that I will watch over and over more, and Night Terrors is certainly one of them. It qualifies. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're enjoying Halloween as we continue to bring you scary stuff. All the scary stuff that we can summon, like a demon from the dark. Keep on listening. Keep on subscribing. If you have not subscribed, free. We're always free. If not, you can do the paid people, the $4.99. You get some goodies. You definitely get some exclusives that the freebies do not. Keep on watching some scary stuff. Go watch Night Terrors if you have not seen it, because I feel it's a winner and I think you'll love it. We'll see you soon.